Hi, I'm George. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to share my process for what I do with my paintings once I finish them before I give them to my client. And this is actually part 2, as I made a video about a month ago showing my process, and I was actually really pleased with the amount of interest that video got. It's my first video to have over 100,000 views, and that happened in the first week, so it all happened really quick. And I got a lot of comments and feedback from other artists, and a few people had some really interesting suggestions for things I could do slightly different. So if you have watched that first video, I am going to add a few things which I've now changed in my process. I've made a few improvements thanks to comments that I got on YouTube from other artists about what they do. So this here is the painting that I've finished, a painting of 3 dogs, and I'm going to varnish this and frame it and get it all ready to give to the client. So in my previous video I used this exhibition varnish, which is a temporary varnish that you can apply to your painting once it's touch dry. And for those of you who are watching from the United States, a lot of people said they didn't have this exhibition varnish, but you can use retouch varnish. But someone suggested using this, which is Gamvar gloss varnish. They also sell it in satin and matte. And the nice thing about this varnish is it's actually a permanent varnish that you can apply to the painting when it's touch dry. So a lot of varnishes you have to wait 6 months, especially permanent varnishes. But this one you can apply to a touch dry painting. And I've also heard good things about it, that it isn't yellowing. A lot of varnishes yellow over time. So I'm going to give this a go. And the reason I like to varnish my paintings is it brings out all the colours, all the saturation in the colours, and it also brings out the impact in the darks again. So especially on a painting like this, which has quite a bit of dark in it, I find it really important to varnish it with a gloss or a satin varnish. So I'm going to be using one of these foam brushes to apply the varnish. The thing I like about these foam brushes is they don't have any hairs, so there's no chance of hairs getting stuck into the varnish, which I found happened a lot when I was using a brush to varnish it. So anyway, let's pour a bit of this Gamvar varnish onto the painting. And then just gonna start brushing that in nice and evenly over the painting. As you can see, those colours starting to come back out. Let's go over a little bit more. It's very important that you do this when the paint is completely touch dry, otherwise it's going to run all over. And it's also important to do it on a flat surface, because otherwise the varnish is going to run down and it won't dry evenly. And actually one of the nice things I'm noticing about this Gamvar varnish is it doesn't have a strong odour to it like a lot of other varnishes, which is really nice actually, because often varnishing a painting, the whole studio smells very strongly. And now I'm just going to leave that to dry, leaving it nice and flat. So I've left the painting to dry for a few days, and I've kept it inside a box so that less dust or debris which is flying around will get caught in the varnish. So let's bring it out now. The varnish has dried nice and evenly, and the varnish has taken a bit longer to dry than the exhibition varnish that I was using previously for my commissioned paintings, but I definitely would recommend this Gamvar varnish. So the frame I'm going to use for this painting is this frame here that I bought online on Easy Frame. Sometimes the online frames actually come a bit quicker than taking it to a framer's. So I find Easy Frames quite good. You can put in the dimensions of the painting. I always make certain the dimensions that I enter are just slightly bigger than the painting by about 1 millimeter, so that the painting can fit easily in the back. So I've put my frame on the table, and I've actually laid a cloth over the table which is soft so that I won't scratch the frame on the wooden table. And now let's get the painting in the back of the frame. So there we go. Just like that, fits in really nice and snugly into the frame. And that's where I like to put that extra millimeter into the dimensions, so that it's not a squeeze to get it in, especially as I gesso prime my panels, so sometimes the gesso overlaps the edge and makes the panel a little bit wider. So I'm now going to write my certificate of authenticity. On my last video there was quite a bit of debate as to whether you should stick it onto the back of the actual painting or the back of the frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stick one onto the back of the painting, and then once I put the backing board in, then I'm going to stick another certificate to the back of the frame. And the reason for this is sometimes the client may frame the painting again in the future, so it is actually important to have the certificate of authenticity on the back of the painting, as that's ultimately the thing which needs authenticity. I'm going to start with the title here. I'm just going to call it 3 dogs. The medium oil on panel. The dimensions are 55 times 45 centimeters, and the date is the 9th of the 3rd 24. And that also caused some confusion amongst the American viewers, because in the UK we do the day first, then the month, then the year. So people were commenting, oh, that's a date in the future. Well, actually, this is just the way we do the date in the UK. And then I'm just going to sign it here. What I've written on the certificate of authenticity is I've written, this certificate assures that the above painting is an original artwork purchased from the artist George Frederick Thomas. So one thing I have done is I've gone onto Amazon and bought these titanium scissors which are non-stick, as I was having quite a lot of problems last time trying to cut with normal scissors, and the scissors stick into the tape and then getting really sticky. So these are meant to be non-stick scissors. I haven't used them, so this will be the first time I'm trying them out, and if they're good, I'll put a link to them on Amazon in the description of this video, so you can then go and buy them to help you frame your paintings when you have to cut through tape. So I'm making certain that the painting is the right way up. So the dogs are sort of, their heads are this way, their feet are this way. So this is going to be the orientation. I'm going to stick the authenticity onto the back. I'm just using double-sided sticky tape to stick this onto the back of the painting. I've stuck it around all the edges, so this way it shouldn't fall off. And then aligning it so it's about square, and then just sticking it on like so. Now I'm just going to put this backing board onto the back of the painting, and then using a flat palette knife, and I'm just going to use this to stick these bits over the top of the backing board. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape round the edges of the frame. I'm just using this frame as tape, which is slightly slick on one side. I'm really enjoying using these scissors, they're working really nicely. So now I'm going to put string onto the back of the frame. So first I'm going to attach 2 D-rings. So the frame is about 63 centimeters. So 1/3 down from the top is going to be 21 centimeters. So let's mark 21. 1/3 from the top is what is recommended when attaching the string to your frame. And now I'm going to attach these D-rings. And I'm just going to use a screwdriver to screw on the mark. And the wood in these frames is quite soft, so you don't need a drill or anything like that. If you're going to drill into hard wood, I suggest drilling a small hole first and then screwing the screw in afterwards, so you don't split the wood. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just screwing it in. So now I'm going to attach the string to the back of the painting, and this is something that I'm going to do slightly differently to my previous video. This is how I do it now.
I get the two pieces of string together at the end, and then I put them through one loop, like so, and then back through the rest of the string. So we get a sort of knot like that. So to tie the string, what I've actually done is I've cut the string a bit shorter, as I don't need too much string left over. And I'm going to make certain that the string isn't twisted at all. And I'm going to put it through the top of this D-ring, like so. Then I'm going to put it over the top of the string, and then back through the D-ring again. Both bits of string coming back through the D-ring, like so. And now through this little loop that I've created here, I'm just going to take these two bits of string, I'm going to put them back through this loop, like so, and then just put it taut. So I don't need the string to be too tight. I want it to be a little bit loose so it doesn't put too much strain on the D-rings on the wood. And also I want it so that someone can get their hand underneath, so when they hang it on the wall it's nice and easy for them to do that. And now from here I'm just going to tape these bits of string to this bit of string to make it look nice and neat. So I'm just going to cut off a small bit of tape, and then I'm just going to put this tape over the top of the end of the string, and then I'm going to wrap it around on itself, like so. Just like that. And now that looks nice and neat.
So I hope you enjoyed that video. My painting is all nicely framed, varnished with Gamvar varnish, and the string is nicely attached on the back with that certificate of authenticity. So if that was useful, please do give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. So I have changed the way I present my painting thanks to comments on YouTube. So if there's anything you think I should add to this or change, then please comment in the comment section below, because I do read all the comments and it has proved helpful to me. So this is all ready to give to the client. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.